It's been just under a day and a half since DC Comics did what they had no other choice but to do: cancel the Red Hood book from Gretchen Felker-Martin. And my assumption is that they've cut all ties with the writer after their very gleeful response to the assassination of Charlie Kirk, a political commentator, a father, a husband. And it didn't take comic book pros and other people around the comic book community to start painting Gretchen Felker-Martin as the real victim, because they really should still have this job. It's only a couple social media posts. Of course, we know that's not the case. In fact, I'd already heard from some of my DC insiders, and if you go and you look at Gretchen Felker-Martin's social media accounts, if you can actually get a look into there, because they are banned right now, they are a smorgasbord of hateful content and disgusting, vile rhetoric about people that they don't like or perceive as bad people. So going into Red Hood #1, Gretchen Felker-Martin was already on thin ice, which was confirmed in a recent article by The Hollywood Reporter stating, while the Kirk post got attention online over the past 24 hours, insiders stressed that it was merely the final straw that broke the camel's back, rather than the sole reason for Red Hood's cancellation. Any post viewed as promoting hostility or violence would break the company's social media policy. People within DC Comics were already on notice that this was potentially, or more likely, a very bad hire. This person was probably always set up to be fired because of their very own words and actions. But that did not stop people from painting Gretchen Felker-Martin as the ultimate victim in all of this, not Charlie Kirk and his family, of course. With one Twitter user stating she got fired because she, as a trans woman, refused to show sympathy towards a fascist. That's what we need to focus on here. Later adding, now is not the time to make sure everyone knows that you think she's a weirdo or a bad writer or whatever, because none of that is relevant to why she was fired. And then continuing, we should not overlook the fact that Felker-Martin, a trans woman, has had more vitriol directed at her over online drama than any of her cis male co-workers. It had nothing to do with the fact that they were a weirdo or a bad writer, which the poster actually admits in their post. It's only the fact that she was a trans person, and you're not allowed to fire trans people. That is the ultimate crime of DC Comics in this case. You weren't supposed to police Gretchen Felker-Martin like you would any other person out there. And believe me, anybody at DC Comics, or probably even Marvel Comics, because they also have a social media policy, that went out there and said the heinous things Gretchen Felker-Martin said would have been fired as well. And there are a lot of people out there trying to make excuses, painting the words and actions of Charlie Kirk in a very negative light. One that comes to mind is what Stephen King had to say, the well-known horror author, stating that Charlie Kirk advocated for the stoning of gays, which is objectively fucking false. And he did at least have to actually admit that that wasn't true before he jabbed him one more time and decided to paint him once again as a bad person after he had lied about a guy, because there have been so many lies proliferated about Charlie Kirk that most of these people that don't like him or are shouting him down don't even know what he stood for. Ultimately, Charlie Kirk's greatest sin was wanting to have an open dialogue with people that disagreed with him. And I can't imagine anything really being more American than that. But it wasn't just that person. Alex de Campi also sees Felker-Martin as the victim, writing, on a practical note, Gretchen is now out about $1,400 a month. DC's opening page rate is still $70 for writers. Yeah. So please go buy her books. Very important. Leave short, glowing reviews about them online to help with the algorithm. Because apparently getting yourself fired because of your own vile rhetoric makes you the victim in the case. It's not Charlie Kirk himself. It's not Charlie Kirk's wife. It's not his children. The victim is Gretchen Felker-Martin, because they're out $1,400. And make sure when you go support that book, whether it's good or not, and we've already had somebody else point out, not a good writer, make sure you go and review fluff them as well. Claim it's great, even if it isn't, because that's what we need going on in media. Not surprised to see Alex de Campi chiming in on this one, known to be an absolute scumbag throughout the comic book industry. And once again, sides with hate, really exposing who they really are. But we're not done yet. Another poster paints Bluesky as bad for banning Felker-Martin for a week, the latest in a string of bans on the platform. You may know Gretchen Felker-Martin has once again been suspended from Bluesky because they do that whenever some chud complains. Her brand new ongoing DC series was also canceled for the same reason. It's stupid fascist bullshit as usual. I'm not on Bluesky. If you go over there and search Thinking Critical and you find something, it's actually not me. That's someone pretending to be me. I'm not really all that interested in echo chambers, so I don't really go over there, but I've certainly seen all the screenshots from Bluesky and people just being overly happy about what happened to Charlie Kirk. And most of those people aren't getting banned. The post that they had was so disgusting that even Bluesky thought they were reprehensible and needed to be banned for, just a week. And this is the latest in many bans on the platform. Another high-profile ban was for the words against J.K. Rowling and stating that they would like to kill J.K. Rowling, a, pretty big moneymaker for Warner Brothers, the parent company of DC Comics. How did this person ever get fucking hired in the first place? But this person has been over on Bluesky, the biggest left-wing nut job fucking echo chamber in the world, and gets multiple bans. That tells you just how vile their rhetoric really is. But of course, that's not enough. We've also got to lie about other people in the process. Another person posted on Twitter lying about Tom King to make Gretchen look sympathetic. So they're firing a writer for posting about the death of a fascist, but the guy who participated in the deaths of countless people in Iraq still writes Wonder Woman slop. Got it. Referring to former CIA officer and comic book author Tom King. And I am not one to support Tom King very often, or certainly come to his defense. But in this case, there's a lot of articles about Tom King. There's a lot of articles about him talking about being in the CIA and certainly being in Iraq. And yes, there are images out there of Tom King in Iraq. There's no doubt that he was there. There's not a fucking article out there talking about the countless people that he killed. There's not an interview out there of Tom King talking about, oh, I killed everybody. I was just murdering people left and right. These people have no earthly fucking idea what Tom King actually did in Iraq. I saw another poster claim that he had admitted in an interview that he tortured people in Iraq. That fucking never happened. These people are so fucking nuts. They just make stuff up. They lie about people. You have Stephen King claiming Charlie Kirk wants to stone gay people. You have other people claiming that fucking Tom King tortured people in Iraq and killed countless people, even though there's no fucking evidence that any of that happened, just so they can say, hey, look, all they did was celebrate the murder of a husband and a father on social media. This guy killed people, even though there's no fucking evidence out there, or certainly an interview from Tom King himself saying that he did that. It's absolutely insane. The fucking mental gymnastics these people will go through to justify the disgusting behavior of their compatriots, the people that they really believe in. And it's still astonishing to me that DC ever considered and actually hired this person in the first place. There needs to be a house cleaning, but we also need to realize the kind of vile, despicable, disgusting people that are out there that are celebrating this and making excuses. They will never hold themselves or anyone around them accountable for any of their actions, for any of their words, because they are not functioning human beings. And the fact that Gretchen Felker-Martin is being portrayed as a big victim in the Charlie Kirk assassination makes me absolutely sick to my fucking stomach.